Hello everybody, it's your boy the Cat and welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be explaining the pathway to a Democrat supermajority. A couple weeks back I did the Republican supermajority. Now it's time we do the Democrats. Of course, like last time, we have to give them every single seat, and I'm just going to go the safe states. Oregon safe, New Mexico. Actually, Arizona would be safe in this scenario as well. Minnesota would be safe. Illinois, Michigan would be safe. This would have to, either way to a supermajority for both parties would have to be a 400+ electoral vote landslide for the candidate. So there's that. Maine would not be safe, in my opinion. Virginia would be safe, of course. And there you go, 48 seats already. And the states they flipped, of course, we have Arizona. They flipped that. They flip Arizona, so that gives them 48 seats plus one than what they already have. Now let's take a look at these safe states for Republicans, no matter what. Idaho, Wyoming, South Dakota would be safe. Nebraska would be safe in this scenario. Oklahoma would be safe. And that is it. So there you go. So all those seats safe. So that gives the Republicans 35 seats under this, big old thing. The rest of these seats, we'll just have to find out. So I'm going to go, left to right, as I always do. Alaska will have to go lean red in this scenario. Let's make the map all nice and pretty. There you go. Alaska goes lean red. Montana goes lean blue. Steve Bullock would defeat Steen Daines underneath this. In Kansas, it would be a close election, but I do think Barbara Bollier would have to defeat Roger Marshall, who was a very strong candidate in Kansas. Both candidates are Barbara Bollier, a very conservative Democrat, not like the far left, very conservative when it comes to what we have the status quo right now. In Texas, I'm going to come back to Texas, actually. In Iowa, Teresa Greenfield's currently polling 3 to 4 points ahead of the incumbent Joni Ernst. And if they were to have a supermajority in this election to win the supermajority, they would have to flip that seat. Alabama, Doug Jones would have to win his seat again, of course. Georgia, John Ossoff would have to win. They would also have to pick off the state of Georgia. I'm going to put that as tilt red or tilt blue. Let's say, I like Matt Lieberman. Let's say Matt Lieberman and Kelly Loeffler go off into a runoff. Lieberman would beat Kelly Loeffler. In my opinion, he actually would, because Loeffler is a terrible candidate. South Carolina, of course, good old Jamie Harrison would have to win to make sure they get the supermajority. North Carolina, Cal Cunningham would have to win. Again, supermajority. In West Virginia, it would have to flip. Shelley, if it was Richard Ojeda, guarantee you it would flip. I would be here sitting right now saying West Virginia would flip if Ojeda was the nominee. I guarantee it. But Kentucky as well, as we've seen with Andy Beshear and Matt Bevin in the 2019 Kentucky gubernatorial race, it can absolutely flip. Maine, it would have to 100% go to the opposite party. Now, I'm going to take away these red states because we still have a lot to go by. Absolutely. So we're just going through, showing off what the pathway is, of course. The next state I would have to go to is Texas. MJ Hager would have to defeat John Cornyn, and by this, Joe Biden would have to flip the state of Texas. So you would also have to win the state of Texas for Democrats to get a supermajority. It's a lot harder for Democrats to win a supermajority than Republicans. I can promise you that. Mississippi, they would have to win the state of Mississippi as well. I'm also going to change Georgia and Alabama to likely, as well as South Carolina as well. And Georgia's special lean. There you go. So I guess 61 seats. They need 6 more seats. And wow, there are a few seats. A lot of these, oh man, it's hard. Because all these seats, like, maybe 1 or 2 seats, like, the only seat out of all of them that is vulnerable to a landslide switch is Alaska. Literally. And Al Gross, hold on. I'm just gonna have to do something right quick. Because Al Gross is an independent. He caucuses with the Democrats. He would most likely caucus with the, good old, he would most likely caucus with the Democrat Party, but I'm going to put it as independent as of right now, because you never know, he could caucus with Republicans, you never know, and I don't know too much about him. You guys will tell me down in the comments and say, oh my god, you're so fucking stupid, and I'm like, yes, I am. Okay, down in Arkansas, we're gonna have to do in the custom color. There is a Libertarian down there running against Tom Cotton. He has a 0% chance of winning. But under this, let's say he wins by a narrow margin. Let's say he wins and gives them much more power. The first Libertarian senator ever elected. Now let's say down in Idaho, Paulette Jordan does the unthinkable and defeat Jim Risch. Now, this is never gonna happen. Never gonna happen. This is never gonna fucking happen. It's not gonna happen because it is impossible for Democrats to get a supermajority. There's no pathway because there's too many popular Republican senators right down this line. There's a giant boot. Well, not really a boot, but you know what I'm saying. Down in Tennessee, they would have to flip the seat. Bill Hagerty currently the nominee, and their Democrat nominee is a no-name, no-faced candidate. They have a face, just their Wikipedia page doesn't have a face as far as I know. I haven't looked at that seat in a long time. But they would also have to flip that seat. They would have to flip that seat, yeah. Okay, next up, oh man, let's see, they would have to win in South Dakota. Yeah, they'd have to win South Dakota as well. Mike Rounds, he was one of the many Republican senators to win in 2014. They would have to flip that seat back. Let's say Heidi Heitkamp would run and have to take that seat back. This is stretching it, like guys. This is stretching it, and we still have one more seat to call. And I'm going to say Oklahoma. Why? Because the incumbent was running up against a man by the name of Kevin Stitt. He's not the governor. But he only got 60 or 70% of the vote. I think it was 76% of the vote. And people who get less than 80% of the vote are in deep trouble, usually. But since he's in such a deep red state, there's not trouble. But if it gets closer, don't say I didn't warn you. But, but in that case, that would be a seat that Democrats would want if they want to get that majority. And so I'm also going to be putting down these safe. Wyoming is safe. There is no chance in hell they're flipping it. Nebraska would be likely. And Louisiana would also be likely. So there you go. 65 seats for Democrats, 33 for Republicans, 1 for Independent, and 1 for a Libertarian. Both of them would most likely caucus with Democrats. Most likely. Most likely. So, is this going to happen? Absolutely not. There is literally no fucking way this can happen. None. Because Tom Cotton, very popular. Mike Rounds, popular. Jim Inhofe, popular. Jim Risch, popular. They're all popular, and you can't, like... Cynthia Lummis, like, maybe she, like... In my opinion, she's gonna be one of the far-right senators, and my phone just fucking went off. Are you serious? Who emailed me? I don't care. Telling me that my cart's full. I know my cart's full. I lost my job. I'm looking, don't worry. But still, like, it's impossible right now. Like, it's easier for Republicans to get a supermajority because there are more vulnerable seats for Democrats and all that good stuff. But anyway, guys, this is the Chaotic One saying peace.